Hi friends, it's Carrie from Stretch TV. This is my first live since like March of 2020, I think. When we were all under lockdown, I did a gazillion videos live, and that was quite a different time technology wise. So I'm excited to be here. Happy New Year. Yay. Um, I went to bed at like 9 o'clock last night. And I just couldn't stay awake. I was like, forget it. And I didn't make any plans because in Chicago, COVID is a thing. So we are pretty, I wouldn't say that we're locked down here, but people are still being pretty cautious, extra cautious right now. So hi friends, it's Carrie from Stretch TV. There we go. Sorry, I didn't realize that my computer audio was on. Like I said, it's been about, gosh, like almost 2 years since I've done a live. So I'm really excited about it. And I decided that Saturday mornings are a good time for most people to stretch. And so I send out my newsletter on Saturday mornings, the Saturday Stretch. You may have noticed if you're a subscriber that you got the quad stretch today in your subscriber folder. Also, there's a new program that I just created. It's called the 2x2 program, 2 minutes of stretching every day for 2 weeks. It's a habit building course. And I just started it. So forgive me as I stumble over my words to figure out how to explain it to you. But basically I've done a ton of research on how to build proper habits. And as I was interviewing people, I realized that I was interviewing people about stretching, like, why are you having so much trouble stretching? Like, why can't you just do it? So many people complain to me about pain and they're just not stretching. So it turned out that it was more about building the habit of stretching that was the problem. So I did all this research and I came up with this plan. And so basically it's a 2-minute stretch every day. Really simple. You learn some resistance stretching and then you're done in 2 weeks. But the coolest thing about the program is that it's like you do your 2-minute stretch and then you check in with me after. So every day you send me a little note, high five, a comment in the field or something. And then I respond to you with like, yeah, you did it. Cause we all need a coach sometimes. I'm all about it. So I'll put that link in the chat here. And you could see it, that's the link to, oh, no, that's my Zoom meeting. Well, if you want to join the Zoom call, don't join the Zoom call because then I have to follow chats in 2 different places. I don't want to do that. So let's do this. There's the 2x2 program. And let me see if I can get rid of that one. And I'm just going to pin this up at the top here so that those of you who are joining later can still see that link. All right. So since this is the first day of doing the live stream, I currently am the only person watching. So I'm going to do some stretching today for some issues that I'm having. Like I'm feeling my knees hurting. I'm feeling, some little things here and there. So what I think we'll do is do some stretching for me, and I'll explain to you my process of how I problem solve myself, how I know what works and what doesn't. Usually I'm like teaching you guys stretches, and that's kind of a different thing. Like there I'm saying like, oh, push here, pull here, do that. But I thought it might be kind of fun to just take maybe a half hour today and you guys can kind of follow along and see like actually what's going through the head of somebody who actually is really advanced at this kind of work. Okay. All right. So I'm going to switch the camera over. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this. Oh, it turned off my video. Hold on. I'll figure it out. Because I have 2 cameras because I'm awesome. Oh, you know why? It's because my mom's trying to call me. That's why. There we go. That should work. All right, family's great and all, but not right now, you guys. You'd think they would, you'd think they'd know. They do not. Okay, let me see if I can make this video the main video. Bear with me, you guys. I'm figuring it out. I think I got it. Okay, cool. I don't know what I did different, and then This is me on my computer. Hello, friends. All right. Yes. Okay. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. All right. So let me come back here. You guys should be able to see me okay from this camera angle. So basically what's been going on in my little world is that I've been creating a lot of videos, and that means a lot of editing time on the computer, sitting a lot. I tend to sit with my legs crossed and kind of hunched over. And then also I had surgery 2 years ago, last year, I can't remember. And I have nerve damage from the surgery in my leg here. So I get pain, and it's not bad, but it's tightness here from the nerve because I have the nerve pain. So that affects my hips as well. And I've been noticing the past couple of days that I'm really tight through my TFL, which is this muscle right here. So your hip bone's like right in the front here. On the inside of your hip bone is your hip flexor muscle. On the outside of your hip bone is your TFL. So it's right here on the outside. That's why I'm feeling some pain here. And also here, which has created some feelings of knee instability. Now I know my knees are strong and I know everything's fine. It's just that like, I'm not quite holding myself up in the right way. I know there's something going on. All right. So I'm just going to start with some basic stretches. The glute stretch is this one, and it's so great. Any of these stretches you can find in a playlist that's called Stretch by Stretch. All the videos are in there on my channel. Okay. All right. So I'm on my side here and I'm just resisting here with my hand against my knee. This is my left leg. So what I'm going to do is, knowing that this is probably the problem, something in my glutes and going into my TFL, I'm going to test it and see what kind of information I can get from it. All right. So I push up. This is strength training. And here, when I'm up here, I feel tightness in my groin area here and a little crampy here. And then I'm just going to push down for my stretch. And I'm just going to go up and down like that a few times until I can kind of get a feel for what's going on. I do feel my glutes working, so that's a good sign. And I'm just going to do about like 5 or 6 of these just to kind of get a feel for it. I also want to try the fascia stretch, which is when you reach your leg out like this. Now, I just want to say, as you guys start logging in, you want to jump ahead to where it's live so that you can communicate with me, okay? I want to make sure that you feel like you can ask questions, because it's the whole point of me being here. It's not just to stretch in front of you, but to ask questions. So as you start to join in, jump ahead, like scroll all the way forward. Doesn't matter what you already missed. Jump ahead so that you can talk to me live, okay? And then feel free to ask questions in the chat. You have to be a subscriber though to write in the chat. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel, and then you can ask me a question, and then we can work on your problems instead of mine. So in this side, I'm feeling a little bit of pain here. So that tells me something. It's the right muscle. It's in the right place, but it feels like a stingy, kind of like a stingy pain. And I don't want that. I want a good stretch. Okay. So I'm just going to get out of that completely. Now, this is what always surprises people about resistance stretching, is that they're like, we're doing a stretch. And I'm like, stop doing that stretch. And they get all like flabbergasted. Is that a word? Flabbergasted. Because they're like, but it feels like I need to do it because it hurts. But that's not really how resistance stretching works. Resistance stretching gives us information, and based on that information, we decide if the stretch is productive or if the stretch isn't productive. Now, a stretch that hurts, like a stingy pain, even if it's in the right muscle group area, is not a productive stretch, right? The pain is a signal my body's telling me like, hey, something else is wrong. I don't want to be here. And in real life, if you were in pain, you would shift how you're moving or walking. You would change your gait. You might just sit down, right? You might fall over. Like, your body knows ways to make you stop doing something if it doesn't like it. But since we're stretching, you've like already decided that you're going to do that movement, and it's like mind over body. So you could force yourself to keep doing that stretch because you will it to happen, even though your body's giving you all these signals that say like, this isn't what I want to do. And that kind of creates more problems to start with, right? Because then what happens is your body kind of tries to protect you more from the stretch that you're doing to keep you from hurting yourself or just keep you out of pain. So it might create more tightness, or it might create more pain, or it might create more compensation patterns. So as soon as I feel that, like it could be that burning feeling, it could be a cramp, it could be no feeling of stretch at all. You might feel a little nauseous. That happens sometimes. You might feel really fatigued. There are all sorts of cues that tell you like, hey, no, this isn't it. All right. So if that's the case, you just get out of it. Now, the stretch I'm going to do next is for my inner thighs. I'm going to do it in a sideways lunge. And by sideways, I mean like this. It's not really sideways. I call it the side lunge. So I've got my left leg out to the side. I'm just going to bring my arms up over my head and resist, like I'm trying to pull both arms apart. So from here, I'm just going to push this left leg into the ground and then go back and forth. And as I do this, I'm going to get that stretch to my inner thigh. Oh, and here too. And I just go back and forth just like this and see how that feels for me. I can tell you, it's kind of weird. This is the area, the muscle group where I have that nerve pain. So actually, my foot hurts on the floor. That never happens. That's a funny thing. My knee is a little funky. My hip feels trapped, right? So I know again that I'm in the wrong stretch. So I'm just going to keep exploring. I'm going to try the other side and see how that works. All right, how do we do it over here? Okay, good. So I'm just going to do the other side. Oh, and same thing here. I mean, not the exact same thing. I've got pinch here, that same area where I was feeling issues before. So I've just got like a mental notepad going in my head of everything that's going on in my body. Sometimes I actually take notes so that I don't forget. Sometimes I do that. All right. So next, what I want to do is go onto my hip flexors and see how those are responding. There's a whole pattern to this method. All right. So I worked kind of on this like outer glute area. Now I'm going to work on like the it's not really a diagonal. It's like 90 degrees from that. And that'll help me figure some other things out. Sometimes those muscles work together too. So this hip flexor stretch, I'm scissoring my legs front to back and back to front, resisting the whole time. And then I just go back and forth just like this. So it's just back and forth. I'm just going to check the video real quick too, because oh, it is on the wrong video, isn't it? Okay, we need to figure this out. Okay, let's see if that works. Fingers crossed. Sorry about that. Kind of missed some of my great stretches. You saw them from the side. You saw the side lunge from the side. And so here, I'm just stretching my hip flexors, trying to get the front of my hip here. And so what I'm noticing here is a really nice stretch to the front of my hip. That's great. This is good. So I'm going to stick with this stretch because I really like the way it feels. It's in the right place. There's nothing in this stretch that's telling me to stop. Like it just feels good to do. So we're just going to keep on it because this could be the thing, right? It could be the barrier that is locking everything else up. So now if I take this piece away by giving a good stretch, then it might let the other pieces just kind of unravel. It's really a beautiful thing. I don't know why this isn't working. I really want it to. And it is not, the second video, it's not sharing. So let's see. It's most likely because that other one doesn't have the other video doesn't have sound on it. So I think that might be why. Maybe if I make it gallery. Let's see, then you'll get both sides. Okay, let's try this again. Let's try it again. All right, so I'm gonna go back to that hip flexor lunge because I like it. And we're just gonna go back and forth. Now, of course, I just want to reiterate to all of you who might be watching after the fact or who might be catching up to scroll ahead to live, right? And so that you can ask me questions if you want. And then also in the future, I'll be here every Saturday at 9 a.m., fingers crossed, you know, assuming that all goes well, that's the plan. And during these live sessions, you can feel free to be like, hey, I have this issue. What's the best stretches for me to do? And I'll either show you or, I figured it out. Or I will actually just send you links to videos that you can do or playlists that you could do, okay? Or, you know, ideas for new videos that I haven't done yet either, right? So it's really a goal of mine to start building a little bit more community in this Stretch Chi world on Stretch Chi TV, because it is really important to me that I'm able to communicate with you guys in a really great way. Also, it's such an amazing method. Resistance stretching is so stinking cool. Like I can't even express to you guys how mind-blowing it is sometimes, how quickly it works, how much relief you can get right away. So, so you'll kind of want to, you kind of want to check it out, but at the same time, there's a little bit of a learning curve. So I want to make sure that I'm here for you guys, that you're able to ask questions and get the information that you need. And without having to be in the same room with me in Chicago, right? So that's my goal. So if flexibility is on your like New Year's resolution list, then for sure, click that link in the chat box, because that's the one that will get you that 2 minutes a day for 2 weeks stretching program. So click that link. All you do is put your email in, and I think maybe what city you're in, so that I don't like bombard you with Chicago-y things if you're not from Chicago. And then you just get it instantly goes to your email inbox, 2 minute stretch. And then the next day, another 2 minute stretch. The next day, another 2 minute stretch. It's pretty amazing. All right. So those stretches actually went pretty well for my hip flexors. So I'm going to balance that out by stretching out the muscles on the other side. And those are my hamstrings. So I'm just going to lay on my back and do a hamstring stretch here, up and down. I think you're just going to get a great view of my foot moving up and down, but you can see it from this camera. So that's good. You guys, I will figure out technology. We have 52 weeks this year. I don't know if there are 52 Saturdays, but since we're starting off on a 1, we probably do have all 52 Saturdays. So 52 weeks of live streams. I'll have it figured out before too long. Promise. All right. So this one feels great. I feel it in the back of my leg right here. It's a really nice stretch. All's good. My calves are a little tight. I can feel that for sure. So maybe I'll do some calf work too. Oh, such sides. So I'm just going up and down. I'm resisting the whole time, and I'm feeling a really nice deep hamstring stretch. Now notice I'm never actually going into a super deep stretch. I'm not going into any painful places. I stop at a certain point and just move back down. It's kind of like when you stretch a rubber band. You kind of go like, you know, kind of like that. All right, now after these stretches, feeling pretty good, I want to do a little bit, do a little calf work, and then I want to do a little bit of backtracking to see if I can figure out how to make this even better. Okay, so for the calves, I'm going to actually do like a downward dog stretch. So I'm on all fours, and then I'm just going to come up into a downward dog position and go up and down, really focusing on my calves. And I'm building that resistance back and forth. Sometimes knee pain can be calf related, or like your feet get a little out of alignment.
Oftentimes we work on our hips to get relief in our knees, but could be coming from somewhere else. You never know. All right, now it's time to do some backtracking. So I'm going to start off with my side lunge again, see how that feels, and then go back to the glutes if I need to. All right. So here I go. Oh, that's better. My foot doesn't hurt. Remember my foot hurt? It was just like my foot into the ground. When I used to teach classes before the pandemic, people would always have like little things like this. And they'd be like, oh no, I just need more padding under my foot. It's just like, it just hurts my foot. It's the padding. I'm like, oh, it could be, but it could also be that there's something going on. Your body's trying to stop you, right? So that actually feels a lot better. Oh, so good. I'll tell you guys, this is good stuff. I've been doing this almost 15 years. It'll be 15 this year in May that I've been an instructor. And but I started stretching in 2003. So here we are at like almost 20 years. That's amazing to me. I'm not that old, right? Almost 20 years of resistance stretching in this body. And it still blows my mind sometimes. All right, this side is better, but I'm still getting this piece. So I'm going to jump back to my hips. Now you guys can see the stretch a little better instead of me being on the floor. All right, so here we go. So this is my left leg, which was totally fine before, but I'm still going to do it because I like it. And because of after all that other problem solving, it'll just be even better, which can't hurt. I'm gonna do a little fascia stretch too. So I'm gonna reach my foot forward. Maybe one more like that. And then I think I'm also gonna do some straight leg ones, because these also hit just a really nice angle right here on the side, kind of glute medius. Ooh, this one's a good burny one, but in a good way. It's allowed to be. Oh, I can't wait to do this on my right side. And you know where I feel this? In my foot, right here, where it was hurting. Isn't that funny? Oh my gosh, that means I'm going to go back to that other stretch again. I mean, resistance stretching, I'm not kidding you guys. I keep telling you all the time, but it's just like so cool. And like once you start doing it, once you start understanding and you like figure out how things work and how all the puzzles fit together, it gets actually really exciting to explore. And it's like a treasure hunt in your own body. Like you kind of like, I don't know, you're like unlocking all the puzzle pieces. This one's better. Remember the last time I did this, I had that like kind of a stinging burning. So that's gone now. The stretch feels pretty good. All right, and a little bit of fascia. A little bit of fascia. I had this student once who was super funny and he was obsessed with fascia, but every time he'd say, he'd be like, it's the fascia. It's my fascia. During the course of that internship, everything became about the fascia. Whew. Okay, so now I'm going to do this straight leg one. I almost fell over. Oh, this is helpful. Oh, so nice. It's funny, the stretches that feel really normal, that feel really good, are usually the ones that are like the most beneficial. I was working with a client the other day and she was like, I keep waiting for something like painful to happen. Like she kept waiting for like a big pop or a big dramatic moment. And there are never any dramatic moments, because why? Like your body doesn't want dramatic moments, and healing is never really dramatic. Like if you think about it, when you get a cold or the flu or something, like you're sick, those are all symptoms. And then one day you just wake up and you're okay, right? So it's never this big dramatic moment. Your fever breaks. It's not like lightning happens. Like your body just kind of realigns itself and adjusts. And then you stop blowing your nose. I mean, it's that simple. So with stretching, it's the same thing. You just slowly start healing piece by piece, get the mess out of there, right? And then eventually you just stop feeling pain. It's like, it's that simple. Okay, so let's get this other side. Oh, that is much better. Oh, goodness gracious, look at that. Oh, that's a big change for me. I'm excited for these lives, you guys. I hope that some of you are watching later. And if you are, put a comment in the comment box. Let me know that you were here. Give me high fives. Somebody new favorite thing, high five emojis. Just give me a high fives. Either like this or the ones that look like this. Either way, doesn't matter. Or whatever your favorite one is. Let me know you were here. Now you can also ask questions in the comment box, like after the fact, like it doesn't have to be live, and I'll address it next week. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's see how this side is doing. Oh, yep, there we go. Oh, that's so good. And this is gone. You see, it's that simple. What's funny, you guys, is that I have been working on other things and dealing with this like really annoying pain for a few days, and I just haven't really taken the time to address it. I've done some other stretching, but it just didn't feel like doing these stretches, to be honest. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes your body's like, I'm not ready to let go of that yet. And last night I had trouble sleeping because I felt that I was feeling that hip pain. I never have hip pain like that. I never do. So I'm glad we could work through it today. Let me do one more. Awesome. Awesome, my friends. It's so fun. Okay, well, you know what I kind of also want to do? I kind of want to do a little bit of stretching for the top of my shoulder here because it's also sore for some reason, and I don't know why. So it could be actually related. Sometimes they are. So I'm going to start off with my deltoids because that's where it hurts. And as I do this, I'm feeling a little tingling in my fingers, some elbow pain, and some fatigue. I must have pulled something, which I tend to do sometimes. All right, I'm gonna try the other side too, because that side is unhappy. And this side's fine. Gathering information though, so that I can come back to it later. Do you really notice here, here? I think I'm looking at the outside of my shoulder. So I'm going to switch gears. I'm coming this way. Yeah, that's intense. Now it feels like a good stretch, but it also feels a little stuck. So I know now that I'm in the right place. So I'm going to switch gears, switch sides, and then I'm going to problem solve that guy. This side feels good. Sometimes it happens. I work with clients, they do assisted stretching, and it's not uncommon that I take some time off, like for the holidays, and then I go back to stretching clients and I overdo it a little bit. So I think I just sometimes overdo it, but it's okay because then I fix it. Then you fix it. All right, the next stretch in this series is a push-up. It's a really slow down push-up. And this is a stretch across the front of my shoulders. It seems fine. All right. And then I'm going to do a stretch for the front of my shoulders here that goes, these muscles go this way, whereas your pecs go this way. So it's kind of grabbing it from a different angle. We'll see how this one goes. Hello. Yeah, it works just fine. I wonder if you guys can see all my gray hairs at the top of my head. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, that was a good one. All right, now I'm just going to go right back to that stretch I was doing earlier. See if it's different. Oh, it's totally different. That feels good. I'm not exactly sure what the barrier was, but I got it. It was something in the front here. Yeah, there's still something going on because I still feel my elbow a little bit. So I'm also going to do my rotator cuff after this, because the rotator cuff fascia line also runs through your elbows. That's always a good one. All right, and here's my rotator cuff stretch. Little spine pops every so often too. Back to this one to see. It's a little better. Still a little funny right here. It's a funny bone though. Let's go here again. So I'm looking forward to next week. I'll try to get this out to you guys a little bit earlier so you know that it's happening. People can join in real time Saturday morning. I also know today's New Year's Day morning and not everybody has been up all day. I went to sleep early last night, as I told you earlier. So I woke up at 3 a.m. So excited. So excited for this. We've got some new videos out. It's New Year's Day. I've already cleaned my whole house, had my coffee. Oh, it's a good start to 2022, I think. I was thinking about it this morning. Another stretcher friend of mine, Amy, I think she has a YouTube video up too. I wonder what it is. I'll have to find it. She's very active on Instagram and Facebook. Maestro Giuseppe, I think is her name. Amy. It's a very big Italian last name. Maestro Giuseppe, I think that's what it is. I probably saying it wrong. But anyway, she put this thing up on Facebook that was a cat all tucked in, and it said me at 9 p.m. on New Year's Eve. Like, oh my gosh, that's me. So we stole it. I put it on my page too. And I was thinking about it. I was like, there are kind of two different types of people on New Year's. There's the type of person that's like, I'm going to stay up all night because it's New Year's Eve. And then there's the other type that's like, I'm going to wake up super early because it's New Year's Day. Like, I definitely are like, I'm going to take on the world kind of person. So I did today take on the world, and it's only 9:30, a little after. And I feel like it's been all day. So I'm going to have another cup of coffee, keep moving through my world. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate all of you. So thank you for being here. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe. It's down here in the corner, that little button. Click subscribe, and also give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Please leave comments of any ideas, any concerns you have about your own body, any questions you have about certain stretches, because we'll address them next week if you can't join live. And then please join live next week at 9 a.m. Central Time. All right, I'll see you later. Bye, friends.